Yo guys, what's going on? Acez here today with another video. In today's video, we are going to be talking about some stuff you need to start incorporating into your raids for PvE. Do me a favor, make sure you're dropping a like on this video here today, and of course make sure you're subscribed to the channel for more PvE content. Let's hop right in. So the main focus of today's video is going to be flashlights and lasers. Now, we are going to also talk about night vision, but we're going to try and save that towards the end of the video. So, lasers and flashlights. This is something that you'd probably use a lot in PvP. However, you'd have to use it sparingly. That is not the case anymore with PvE. We're going to start with lasers. You know, a laser can give away your position in PvP, but now that will not happen in PvE. Lasers are going to help you acquire those targets a lot easier when you're trying to point fire, and it just feels nice to have a nice shiny blue laser on your weapon at all times, pointing exactly right at the center of your screen so you can always be centered up. In PvP, having your laser on constantly would hurt you in the long run. Not only could somebody try and calculate your position based off seeing your laser, but they could just generally know the position you are coming from or that you're aiming to. And the reason that's a problem is it sets you up for an ambush. That's not a factor anymore in PvE. So if you guys are laser enjoyers, I highly recommend putting those lasers back on and bringing them into every single raid from now on. Blue lasers are like 5K from Skier. It's a deal and a half in my opinion. Now, flashlights definitely the more important side that we need to talk about. In PvP, I never had my flashlight on unless I needed to or unless I was actually challenging another PMC. It just got to the point where it did way more harm than good constantly having the flashlight on. Now, I keep a flashlight on pretty much permanently in my raids, and I will occasionally turn it off because when I'm recording the, Uncut and Unheard series, I don't want my pistol flashlight just whipping around like fucking crazy, going up and down like this. Like, that kind of gets annoying to watch, so I do turn it off occasionally, but I keep my flashlight on 24/7 on all of my weapons, too. Like, if I'm in a night raid or something weird, it doesn't really matter, but I'll keep my flashlight on all of my weapons, and even though it's shining on the floor under me and behind me, that doesn't bother me one bit, because there's no other real people in the raid to see that flashlight wherever it is on my ass. So, flashlights really become one of the most valuable, cheap tools that you can bring into a raid. Not only do they help you acquire targets easier if it's somewhere dark, even if it's somewhere light, I would probably argue that they do help you acquire those targets a little bit better. It's just nice to have for running around and looting the map. So just imagine we're in like one of the woods bunkers or something, and we're trying to look at the floor for all the loot and shit like that. And, maybe you're looking for those 60 rounders. It's nice to just have your flashlight out and acquire the loot a little bit better. It's going to help you save, 5-10 seconds here, 5-10 seconds there. And over the course of a wipe or a few months, whatever the case may be, like, that's going to save you so much time. And sometimes time is pretty valuable, considering all our raid timers got cut down pretty heavy. Now, flashlights, when it comes to just target acquisition, I have to say it's been one of my favorite things for pistols, SMGs, anything close range here in PvE. It has been just an absolute blessing to be able to acquire those targets super easily with a flashlight on. And even if it's bright out, that does not make a difference. I will still have the flashlight on in most situations to try and better acquire those targets. I mean, you see we have targets here with the flashlight. I'd say they light up a little bit better for you to, see the areas you need to see, whether that's the thorax, whether that's the head, or if, for whatever reason you're going for leg meta, if you're trying to kill Tagilla or something, I always have a flashlight on. Now, let's talk about NVGs. This is super important, but it's going to be one of those kind of topics that doesn't matter to a lot of people because they just don't use NVGs, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with never using NVGs, but they're a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. And at the same exact time, your laser won't hurt you. This laser's not going to hurt you at all. And it's going to be really nice having those lasers on with night vision. I mean, they look so good. They're just great. Having the laser on with night vision is just so helpful in so many different ways. Now, I would say that, the IR lights really don't make a difference. You don't even have to use IR laser specifically. You can use any laser and it's going to look like this. I would say for PvP, IR flashlights, IR lasers. That's probably what you want to do for all the Timmies running around without MVGs. But, you know, here in PvE, I was doing a whole hour's worth of night visions with these goggles on right here, and it has been a ton of fun just running around with MVGs and, you know, keeping my laser on constantly, being able to acquire targets wherever I need to acquire targets. It has been a lot of fun, and it's definitely something that I felt that I wanted to at least bring to you guys and tell you, if you're not running flashlights, if you are not running lasers, like, it is a huge help to you, and I would recommend doing it in every single raid because the cost is so low and it can only help you, in my opinion. Now, if you have like 3 flashlights on one weapon, I will say it can get too bright where you can't even see the fucking scavs you're shooting at, and because those flashlights don't affect them, they can see you and they will kill you. Just one other thing that's on the top of my mind right now is if you guys haven't played in dense fog yet, in PvE, scavs can see you through all that fog. So once again, like, the light mechanics that affect us, our actual human real life vision, do not affect the AI. They are AI. They are computers. They can see through all that shit. It's not right. It's not fair. It's just another way to get Tarkov'd, but it's just one of those things where, you know, I like to give you these tips. Maybe you will go into a shoreline and it'll be super foggy and you're going to be up on the hill looking towards the gas station trying to snipe somebody at pier. It's just too foggy. You can't see them, but then you start getting shot at. That's what happened to me. That's my example for you. You know, then you'll be like, oh, okay, now I will never do that again so I don't get potentially one-tapped. Just little things like that. I like to just throw in all these extra little nuggets, all these little gems for you guys, because I know a lot of you are newer players. A lot of people are coming back to Tarkov and just seeking out information for PvE, and it's a different game. You know, it is definitely a different game when it comes to PvE versus PvP. You definitely have to take a different approach. You can't just W key everything now. It's a lot slower, more tactical, and a lot of fun, if I got to be completely honest. So that is what I have for you guys today. Hopefully it wasn't too boring just sitting here at the stash and listening to my voice. I know we were in the hideout a little bit, kind of showing you some examples, but you know, not everything's going to be a super banger video. It felt kind of boring recording it, so that's why I say that. But, you know, hopefully the information to you guys is very valuable to me as an experienced Tarkov player. You know, it's just kind of another one of those things. You just add it into the manual of how to play this game correctly. And, you know, there's not one way to play it correctly, but you guys know what I mean. Tips that will help you survive more. So hopefully you did find it informative, enjoyable, whatever adjective you like to use today. But that like would be greatly appreciated. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. I'm out.